Why do so many of you newer Chevy Tahoes and Chevy Silverados, basically fairly new to me, have an issue with the paint fading? Today, I have one that needs some paint. I want to say paint correction, but I have one that needs the paint to be fixed. And I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to fix this paint for less than $100. Let's do it. All right, guys, so this is not my Tahoe. Let me fix my little thing on my head. This is not mine. This is out of my tax bracket. I can't do nothing with it. But anyway, so the most common occurrence of the paint fading on these things is, hold on, I forgot to say something. God is everything. Without God, I'm nothing. Can't forget to say that, guys. Can't forget to say that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The most common place that I see a lot of these things fading is on the top, sometimes on the hood. For some reason, this one didn't fade on the hood. I don't know if somebody re-cleared it. Which I'm thinking somebody did. I'm thinking somebody cleared certain areas on it, but they didn't re-clear the top. So the top is all I got to fix on this. So I'm gonna show y'all a real simple trick that you can get done for next to nothing and re-clear this thing, have it nice and black, nice and pretty. But I'm gonna get up here and show y'all what we got. I'm gonna put y'all up top with me and I'm gonna show y'all just how easy just re-clearing something is. And we're gonna talk about some of the things you need to look out for, some of the things you need to watch out for, this, that, and the third. So if anybody who say, hey, my paint ain't bad, my clear is just fading. So let's get right into that. All right, guys, so we are up top, right? As y'all can see, I have what's called a Scotch Brite. I have a red Scotch Brite. You have different colors, different aggressions. This one, I want to get a little aggressive with it because the fade is pretty bad. So I wanted to knock it down pretty good without hitting the base coat. But if I can show y'all other parts of this back, as y'all can see that piece right there, somebody might have cleared it. Somebody had to clear it because that piece didn't fade. So won't be clearing that. I'll be taping that off. But here, and I don't know if y'all can see that spot right there, I sprayed some rattle can clear coat on it just to see how it would look, and look pretty good. So I said, hey, let's go with it. I also considered buffing this thing. I said, man, big as this thing is, I'll be buffing forever. So scratching this thing up and clearing it was the easiest thing to do. So that's what we came up with. And I'm gonna prop y'all up. And while I'm scratching this thing up, I'm gonna give y'all what's called my real talk. I know some of you who've been watching, y'all familiar with it, so but let's get to it. I don't know how good y'all can see me. I know y'all really can't see me, but while I'm working, I'll try to talk to y'all, right? So if you're looking at me working right now, and I'm gonna get somewhere where y'all can see me and y'all can hear me pretty good. I know you can't see me per se, but you can somewhat see me. Hold on. Let me put a little brightness on y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me put a little brightness on y'all. Let me get back here. Let me work my magic, because y'all a little dark. Y'all are a little dark. Let me see. There we go. Right there, maybe. Right there is better. But anyway, let's talk about it, y'all. The real talk for today is sometimes, or I don't want to say every time, but I feel like every time it has to get worse before it can get better. And a lot of times, man, we see this a lot while we work on cars, right? So for example, if you're looking at the top of this car or at the top of this truck, whatever you want to call it, right? If you're looking at the top of it, right now, with it just being faded black, it looks bad, but it doesn't look that bad. But as I'm taking this thing, right, and I'm scratching this up, and as you, from what you see, from your angle, you might say, man, you making it worse. You know, you might say, man, you making it worse, man. You not making it better, you making it worse. But that's what you're seeing. But in order for me to make it look better, I have to make it look worse. There's no other way around it. In order for me to properly fix this thing, and this is a word for somebody right here now. In order for me to properly fix this thing, I have to break it down and make it look worse. I have to make it look bad. But once I finish it, it's gonna look better. And if I'm not an auto body technician, so I want to say customer, but if a customer was watching me do this, they would say, man, you messing my truck up. You messing it up. You making it worse. But they would just have to trust the process. And that's what that's what I have to do. That's what a lot of us have to do. We just have to trust that process. We have to just trust that God is going to work it out, that it's going to work out. That's just what we have to do. We have no other choice. You panic, you know, sometimes you can think yourself out of a situation, but because you've panicked, you ain't thinking right. You ain't thinking correctly. For instance, let me give it, see, I got car guys on here, man, so I had to give it to y'all like this. You have an engine in your car, right? And that engine has an issue, right? You can do things on the surface. You can pull the valve covers off. You can do all kind of things trying to diagnose that engine. But if you diagnose that engine and you say, okay, this engine needs a rebuild, or this engine needs new pistons or new rods or crank or whatever in it, that engine coming apart is gonna look worse than it looked. Even though on the inside that engine was broken, it had to come apart and look worse visually. It had to come apart and look worse visually to be better internally in the long run. So, like I said, man, that's my little simple real talk for today, man. Sometimes it just has to get worse before it gets better. And that's just how it is. I know it sucks, I know it's rough, but that's just how it is, man. But let's get back to it. All right, guys, so I'm gonna be up here. I don't know if y'all can see me or not, but I'm gonna be just up here working away, chopping away at this thing, because I am on the evening shift. I'm working the evening shift right now. Hopefully y'all can see me. Hopefully everything is nice and clear and good. So in a couple hours, your boy gotta punch that clock. So I'm just working on this thing a little bit in the evening. But while we doing that, I'm gonna talk to y'all about how I'm gonna get this thing done for less than $100. So I bought a gallon of Sherwin-Williams clear coat, which I heard a guy who builds old school cars, he said it was a nice clear coat. To be honest, it's one of the cheapest clear coats that you can get your hands on. It's like 89 bucks on Amazon. He said it has a nice shine to it. Hopefully that's the case, because your boy don't want to repaint this thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh boy, up here trying to get this thing done as much as I can up top, and I'm gonna take that part off. I'm putting some tape on the part that I showed y'all, the little wing part back here. That was good. I'm putting tape on it so that I don't mistakenly scratch this part. That way, I don't have to be so careful. So all I'm doing, man, which it doesn't have a shine up here, but I'm just trying to knock any little bit of shine that's up here down. Making it a nice, smooth finish up here. And once it's nice and smooth, the paint gonna lay nice and smooth. Trying to get as far over as I can. That way, once I go to the other side, I don't have to work as hard. But let me see what I got for y'all, man. So let's talk about anything auto body related. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about auto body related. Let's talk about my history with, let's just talk about my whole history with the whole car thing altogether. So back in, and yeah, I'm a young buck. I ain't young. I'm 30 years old. Don't y'all call me country either, because I can't say 30. I am 30. But anyway, so back in high school, I got to a point where I'm like, man, I want some money. So I said, hey, how can I make some money? And my dad had already exposed me to cars. So first thing I jumped to was, man, I want to be a mechanic. I'm gonna be a mechanic, right? So I then had a cousin who was a certified mechanic. He had a Mustang that did not play the radio. I think his son told me that that car was a 393 stroker. And when I tell you he was racing full-blown race cars with that car, full race cars with it, and giving it to him. So to have somebody who is building their own stuff, and I'm interested in it, you know, the thing was, you know, hey, is he willing to teach me? If he willing to teach me, hey, I'm willing to learn. So I went to go work with my cousin while in high school. 11th grade, 12th grade, one or the other. I don't know what grade I was in, but anyway. So I went to go work with my cousin. Now, my cousin knew performance, but that's not what he did every day. He did regular mechanic work. And that's what I did. But if you can learn the basics, once you get into the performance stuff, yes, things are a bit more, how can I say? Things are a bit more critical. Things are a bit more serious. Which is serious anyway, but it's a little bit more serious with the performance stuff, especially you talking about turning a bunch of RPMs and all this and that. So, but yeah, so I worked down there with him for a couple hours, and honestly, I'm not the person that's gonna do something that I don't like doing. But I had gotten my first car, and that car had to be paid for. So kept doing it, but I realized, I said, hey, this ain't what I want to do. So figured that out. Say, hey, I'm gonna learn how to paint cars. I'm gonna do that. I think I want to paint them instead of working on them or whatever. So I went all in, went to school for auto body. I have to watch that. But went to school for auto body. Did that, and I liked it, but to be honest, I was way ahead of my time. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a lot smarter than I should have been at such a young age. And at the time, let me move y'all. I got to move y'all so y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see me right there or not. Then my mic fall off. Don't nothing want to go right with me. Hold on, y'all. Let me get y'all repositioned. All right, man. So next things next. I looked up how much an auto body technician made at that time, and to be honest, even though I didn't have a single bill at that time, no bills. I can't remember what the salary was, but it was, might have been like 30,000 or something was the average salary. And at the time, I also wanted to be a firefighter, so I went to school for a couple years. Was actually almost done, to be honest with you. I would say I was about 80% done. But then I had an opportunity to, like I said, to go be a firefighter. I even talked with my teacher about it, man. My teacher, who was teaching me everything, which is why I'm so far ahead of where I should have been. I wanted to learn, and even though I wasn't even in the class, I hadn't even taken the class to learn how to paint completely. But I knew how to paint because I had a teacher who didn't mind teaching me. And basically taught me the whole lineup, the whole thing about painting. So I'm nowhere in the class. I mean, like literally nowhere. Anyway, so I'm literally nowhere in the class, and I already know how to paint a whole car. So I'm learning introduction stuff, but because I pulled my teacher to the side and I said, "Hey man, I wanna go ahead and learn how to paint." He took me in the booth. They had old parts from old cars. Took me in the booth and gave me some old paint. Or no. Matter of fact, he didn't take me in the booth first. He gave me an old hood, and he said, "Fix this old hood, and then we'll talk." So I worked on that old hood. Took me some Bondo, stud pullers, all kind of stuff, getting that hood as straight as I could. And he came out and rubbed it and said, "Yeah, that ain't straight." But he would point out the areas. He would say, "You need to work on it some more right here and some more on that side over there." So I work on it, come back out, and look at it again. He said, still ain't straight. Still ain't straight. Work on it some more. It took me a while to get that hood to the point to where he would paint it. To where he would let me paint it, or I should say help me paint it. It took me a while to get it there. But eventually, I got it there. And he told me that, because the metals on the hood were so soft, that 9 times out of 10, it's just easier to just go buy a hood instead of trying to fix a hood, because they so flimsy. So anyway, finally got it to a good point to where he was okay with it. And we took that bad boy in the booth. They had some good old paint laying around. Candy paint, all kind of stuff laying around that had been donated to the school. My hood, I primed it gray and we painted it silver and candy blue. So it was silver for the most part. He showed me how to measure it and put your lines on it. Y'all probably can't see me where I'm at. He showed me how to measure it and put my lines on it. And then after that, like I said, we painted that bad boy candy blue racing stripes, and it was silver. I was very proud of that hood, even though I didn't do it completely by myself. I was proud of that bad boy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I showed that hood to everybody. I showed it to everybody. I was proud of that hood, boy. And then the time came to where there was a lot of older guys who was retired from the military and all kind of stuff like that. And yeah, and they liked my drive and my ambition. So they had their old Chevelles and all kind of cool old cars in there that they were working on. And they would say, hey, young man, you know, I see you really want to learn. You know, you can come and help me on my car if you want to. So, you know, I would spend my afternoons restoring old cars. And those guys were quote unquote students, but they were just there because them enrolling as a student gave them a place. They had a paint booth. They had a nice place to restore a car. Free paint, whatever they needed, it was there because they were students. So that was a genius plan to do. But yeah, man, I don't know how long this took, but I'm almost done. I just got literally just the front portion, and I gotta reach this tape without falling off of this ladder. All right, so let me tell y'all why I say I think this thing was re-cleared. Was because if you look at that spare tire, it's really shiny right there. Real shiny. And it looked like maybe they got a little clear coat on it. And it feels slick right there, so. But anyway, let me show y'all what else I'm gonna have to do to this thing. Another spot starting to fade right here also, but I would literally have to clear the whole side of the car in order to fix that and that. So I don't want to do that right now. I'm gonna try to buff this because it does still have a shine to it. So I'm gonna try to scratch that up and see if I can buff it back. And anything else that needs to be buffed, I think on these sides, I'm gonna try to buff it to get it as close as I can to what it needs to be. But yeah, let me show y'all the top because it is done. Didn't take me long. So, as y'all can see, just dull, dusty. I wiped that part off, as y'all can see, wiped it off. Gotta cover my El Camino up. I don't want no clear coat getting all in the inside of my car. But so what I'm gonna do is the rest of this thing is just gonna be plastic wrap. It's just gonna have plastic wrap all the way across it. I'm gonna take some wax and grease remover and all kind of stuff. Get this thing cleaned up. Tape these off. Tape off at least the inside of this. And I'm gonna tape that off. And then, like I said, I'm gonna just cut a hole in the middle of the plastic and tape it here, and just let the plastic just drape down all over the car. So, all right, guys. So here's another quick tip. This stuff is called wax and grease remover. Anytime you paint something, you can either use this. Some people have used alcohol. This is just what I learned in auto body school. Wax and grease remover. I'm pretty sure alcohol does the exact same thing. But another tip is, okay, so I was able to do this on this truck because one, the paint had just faded. It wasn't breaking or chipping or cracking or coming off. If you got that issue, if you got paint coat, your paint that doesn't stick anymore, I would probably sand it down a bit more aggressive. Probably sand it down really down to the base. If you're, like I said, I don't even know, like your clear coat is chipping, like you can actually grab a piece of clear coat and pull it off. I would take a sander and really sand it down a bit further. But because this had faded all the way across with no other issues, it was fine for me to just scratch this up and paint it. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, let me say this. Clear coat will not hide anything, but this wax and grease remover will somewhat show you what you're gonna have once you're painted. So any imperfections, like for instance, I got that one. Matter of fact, the camera won't even pick it up. But there's an imperfection right here. Yes, you can see it a little bit. But there's an imperfection right there that I think maybe the clear coat might hide. I don't know. But yeah, the clear coat doesn't hide anything. So if anything that's showing while you waxing greasing it, it's definitely gonna show once you clear it. So, all right, guys, your boy's back. It is another day. Let's talk about what we got. As y'all can see, the thing is wrapped in plastic. I'm just wrapping it in plastic all the way around it, all the way around. I still got to do the hood. If you got a two-man, this plastic job is gonna be a piece of cake. But if it's one of you, you can make it work. I did take, let me see if I can find, I might be able to put them all on. I had some little cheap wheel covers that I put over the wheels. Didn't need it because of the plastic, you really didn't have to do it. I just wanted a little bit of extra securement over the wheels, even though the plastic goes all the way down to the ground. And I did kind of tape it around, but I didn't want to pull the plastic all the way up, so I did let the plastic hang to the floor in some areas, hoping that would prevent it from going up under or whatever. I don't know. I taped it up in some places, but in some places I didn't. I'm not done taping yet, but let me take y'all up so I can show y'all what we got up top, and just what we got in general. I'm gonna take y'all all the way around, show y'all the air compressor, just for my guys who want to paint or whatever. If you want to paint, I recommend a 60 gallon or more. If you don't have a 60 gallon, I mean, you can get away with small jars with some of the smaller ones, but with the 60 gallon, it'll kick on and it'll go off, and you won't have as much water, because once that engine runs, it builds heat and it builds condensation, it builds water in the tank when it runs so much. So I would find the strongest, I mean, if you can get an 80 gallon, that'll be even better. But I'm gonna take y'all in, and I'm gonna show y'all what I still got to do and what I got done, blah, blah, blah. And I'm gonna turn the heater on in here just a little bit, because it's about 70 something. And my thermometer inside the shop went dead on me. So I don't have a way to know what the temperature is exactly inside the shop. But I got the door open, let some of this heat get in, but I'm gonna shut the door back down, turn the heater on, and I'm gonna try to get it not as hot as I can, but pretty hot in there so that when I spray this stuff, first coat gonna be really light, second coat gonna be kind of heavy. I'm gonna do 3 coats on this thing just to try to give it as much heat protecting as I can. Oh, let me show y'all the clear coat before we get too far. This is what we're using right here. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I don't know how it looks on the camera. And I got a glare from the sun. But yeah, so this is ACME. Basically, it comes from Sherwin-Williams. And I heard a lot of good stuff about it. Heard there's some good stuff. It's not expensive. This whole gallon was $89 for this whole gallon. We're gonna see how good it sprays. Hopefully it does a good job, because it's not gonna be fun trying to get it off if it doesn't. But I got a paint shaker in there. I'm gonna put the actual clear coat on the paint shaker. Just let it just shake this stuff up for me. Normally you don't have to do this with clear coat. I've really never done it with clear coat, but I'm gonna just shake it up anyway just because I got a paint shaker. All right guys, a few more quick tips. I changed my mind on how hot I want it to be in here. I don't want it to be regular like 80 degrees. I would rather it stay about 70 something. That way, even when I go on my first light coat, I have time to come down, move the ladder, you know, come down, move the ladder 3 times on this side and then move it 3 times on that other side. And the paint won't dry up on me before I can get to the other side to connect it. Because if it dries, you got a different problem. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So you get these what's called paint cups. You can get these out of Amazon. And they have, I don't know how good y'all can see this on this camera because I got my camera side up to show me different things in here, but it has different numbers on it. Maybe I can darken the back of it up or something for y'all. I don't know. But anyway, so it has different numbers on it. 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1, 4 to 2 to 1. And my cup has 4 to 1 to 1. Now, I don't have to use that last one. So all I'm using is 4 to 1. So how you do this is, I don't know if anybody's painted before, but how you do this is you go to, if you're doing 4 to 1, let's say you want to do 3 parts. So you go to 3, and you go to 3, and if you had another part, you would go to 3. So you always go to the same number, and that's how you get your mixing ratio. So same with 1 to 1. If you were going to 1 to 1, if you was going to 3, you would go 3 here, and then you would go 3 all the way up here. That's it. That's all that is to doing that. And then this is what you call a tack rag. It is very sticky, and you take it out, the wrapper, and I got to order some more because this is literally my last one. Take these out the wrapper, you open them up, they can get really big. You just continue to open them, and ball it back up like that, and then use it like that. So there goes some more tips. I got y'all a long way away from me because I don't want to knock y'all over. I don't want to knock the camera over, and I don't want paint getting on my lens. So you can't hear me right now. You won't be able to understand me once I put this on. So I'm getting ready to just spray this thing. I would normally put a suit on or something to, you know, stop anything from moving, but I think it'll be fine because I'm just doing the top. So I ain't really worried about it. Because you know, my clothes really won't be, all the thing be out there is my arm. So I think I'll be fine for this one, but I got my first coat of paint and my second coat mixed up, so I'm trying to hurry up, put this on. This gonna be some B-roll shot for y'all, man. So I'm gonna put the mic in out the way, so let's get to it, man. Alright guys, so first coat just went down. I had to come out of there, man, because it was that paint smell. If you ever smelled it, it's kind of rough. But I think my little fan may be working pretty good. Maybe pulling that excess out of there. But yeah, first coat, not too bad. Y'all hanging out with me. Finna get y'all back in here. I'm gonna let this dry before I open this door a little bit more. I stopped at exactly 1:30, so 30 minutes. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna see how it feels, how it looks, and then we're gonna go right back on with another coat. About $170, less than $200, you get it done. I'm gonna hurry up because my camera going dead. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in for another video, man. Oh, I got to show y'all the thing. Hold on, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. So this is what we got. Came out really good. Literally reflecting the whole building. Came out really good, man. Really good. Laid on like glass. But anyway, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in to another one. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with somebody, man. Pulls TV, gone.